Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and give it a like. Discover new stories every single week.
Capybara Chronicles, Sea Adventures, and more. Story 1. Meeting the Magical Ship. The forest greeted the new day with silence and tranquility. Sun rays broke through the thick branches, dancing on the green grass. In the cozy home of the Capybaras, the usual morning hustle and bustle was in full swing. Mama Bara, humming a song, was rolling out the dough for the berry pie, while Papa Capi was trying to finish reading the newspaper, despite the noise around him. Lina and Bob were arguing about the best way to find edible mushrooms. And Tiko, the youngest of the Capybaras, couldn't sit still. He ran into the kitchen, jumped back out onto the porch, and looked under the table. It seemed like energy was overflowing in him. Tiko, what's going on with you today? Mama Bara looked up from the pie. You're running around like a madman. Mom, Dad, Tiko exclaimed, almost knocking over the vase with berries.
Have you ever seen a ship? Well, you know, like one with big sails that can cross an entire ocean. A ship? Papa Capi asked, looking up from the newspaper. Why did you suddenly remember about ships? I heard Uncle Miriam talking about them.
Tiko stretched his paws forward as if drawing in the air. A sailing ship.
He said that in the old days a magic ship appeared on the river, which sailed on the wind and water. Can you imagine? A ship? Bob, skeptical, snorted. Sounds like a tale. Believe it? What if true? Lina, ever ready for adventure. Sounds like a fairy tale.
What, did you believe it? What if it's true? Lina intervened, always ready to support any adventure.
But you said that there's a grain of truth in legends. Legends! No one's seen magic in the river, Tiko said. You're so worked up about the ship, you already seen it. What if I felt it? Tiko declared.
Tiko said, you're so worried about the ship. It's like you've already seen it.
What if I felt it? Tiko said, his eyes wide. You know, it feels like it's calling us.
We have to find it.
Lina, who loved adventures, put her hands on her hips and smiled at Papa Capi.
Well, since our junior captain is ready to search, why don't we go and check?
We'll find anything along the way? Or see Tiko by the shore, Bob snorted. Papa Capi sighed. Since you all want to go so much?
All right, sighed Papa Capi, folding the newspaper.
Let's walk to the river. We can take a walk to the river. But no silly business. Do you promise?
The Capybara family was walking along the shady forest paths, enjoying the morning tranquility. Tiko, as always, was in the lead. He jumped over roots, peeked under bushes. Lina followed with a notebook. Bob trailed, holding the compass and map. He didn't announce that he felt something strange. Lina followed him with a notebook in her paws. Ready to note down anything unusual, Bob walked behind, not letting go of the compass and map.
Are you sure you know where we're going?
Bob asked Tiko, who stopped, looking at Tiko, of course. Tiko said confidently. But then he immediately stopped.
Well, not exactly sure. On the river somewhere, there.
He waved his paw in an uncertain direction.
Great!
Bob muttered, adjusting his hat.
I hope you don't lead us into the thicket like last time. Lina laughed.
Remember how we got lost and then found that meadow with rare flowers?
Maybe we'll get lucky again this time.
When they finally reached the river, a quiet, almost magical landscape unfolded before them. The water was clear and sparkled in the rays of the sun. There were tall trees all around, and reeds swayed in the wind. But there was something unusual about this place.
Look over there, Tiko exclaimed. A dark shape was visible.
Pointing with his paw. In the distance, beyond the thick bushes, something large and dark was visible. Lina ran closer with curiosity, and Bob carefully moved towards her. When the Capybaras reached the spot, their breath was taken away. On the sandbank, surrounded by thick bushes and reeds, lay a real ship. Its hull was adorned with carvings depicting sea creatures, and the sails shimmered with a soft light, as if they were filtering the sunlight through themselves, as if they were letting the sunlight pass through them. This is real, Lina whispered, covering her mouth with her paw. It looks like a dream, Bob mumbled, skeptically examining the ship. How did it get here? It's a magical ship, Tika shouted, rushing forward.
I told you so.
He was waiting for us. Tika, stop. Bob tried to hold his brother back, but he was already climbing aboard.
Lina leapt. Safe? Lina jumped. Safe? Bob followed. Check.
Without waiting for permission, she jumped after Tika.
Well, if it's dangerous, someone has to check it out first, Bob said, following them.
The ship was spotless. A crystal glowed in the helm. Everything looked like the ship had just come off the shipyard. On the deck, a crystal glowed in the helm. Its blue light was warm and mysterious. Lina whispered, reaching for the crystal, at the same time warm and mysterious. What is this? The heart of the ship, Lina whispered, reaching her paw towards the crystal. Don't touch it. Bob quickly stopped her. We don't know what this is, but before anyone could say anything, the crystal shone brighter, and the air filled with a deep yet kind voice.
Greetings, esteemed brave travelers. You found me. So you are ready to set off on your journey. Who is speaking? Bob looked around.
But besides them, there was no one else on the ship.
It's a ship.
It's alive, Tika exclaimed.
My name is Starfish, the voice continued. I was indeed created for great journeys.
Are you ready to become my captains?
Ready! Tika shouted, raising her paws in the air.
Wait,
The wine interrupted.
where do you want to take us and why?
To where the magic of the ocean is in danger.
The ship replied.
But first you indeed need to prove that you are worthy. Each of you will face a trial and challenging one that will test your skills.
A trial. Bob frowned. What does that mean?
You'll know when the time comes, the voice said. In the meantime, hold on tight.
The voice said.
In the meantime, hold on tight. Our little journey begins.
The ship shuddered, as if it had come to life. Its sails filled with an invisible wind, and it slowly began to move down the river. The capybaras exchanged glances and felt a slight thrill. They stood on the threshold of something great. Are we really sailing? Bob asked anxiously, looking at the receding shore. Looks like it, Lina replied, smiling. And I love it. Tika stood at the railing, his eyes wide open.
I knew this day would be special.
On the horizon, where the river met the sky, vague outlines of an island could be seen. The ship glided smoothly through the water, promising new mysteries, dangers, and discoveries. Thus began the great sea story of the Capybaras, where every wave hid a mystery, and each day promised a new challenge.